Hello, this is Dan.
And Phil.
What are you like, Sam?
Chocolate ring.
You are listening to BBC Radio 1, where for the next hour, some of the biggest stars of the internet take control of your radio.
Ow, Charlie!
I am Charlie McDonald.
My name's Jack Howard.
And I'm Dean Dobbs.
It's a Leo Pleurodon, Charlie.
Hello, everyone!
Is this thing on?
This is the Internet Takeover.
That was Muse with Dead Inside, and I am Jim Chapman. Hello. If you are new to me, you've never seen me before, then hi. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am a guy from the internet. If, however, you have watched me and you follow me online, then you'll probably know who I am already. So, hello, you're all right. Now, before I actually go on about what's going to be in the show, I want to let you know there's two ways you can consume it. Firstly, you can just listen to the ways you can consume it. Firstly, you can just listen to the radio as you normally would, or you can go to the website bbc.co.uk/Radio 1, and you can see if my face matches my voice. There are a few people on the radio who I hear, and then when I actually see them, I'm like, whoa, that is not what I thought you'd look like. So use the hashtag JimOnR1 and let me know if I look like I sound. Also, if you already know what I look like and what I sound like, then just tweet me nice things, please, because this is the first time I'm doing the show on my own. I'm a little bit nervous, and I'd love to get some support from you. On the show, we have some very exciting stuff. I have had a very busy week last week. I went to New York to start with. I then came home for less than a day, about 16 hours, had about 2 hours sleep, and had to get up at 4 a.m. and go straight to France for my stag weekend with a few of the guys. I went snowboarding. I wasn't as good as I thought I was going to be, let's put it that way, but I did film some exclusive footage for you, so you're going to get to see that. And I have picked all of the music on this show myself. Usually I have to share with someone, but this is all me, so I really hope you like it. Let's play the first track, which is Paris with St. Patrick. Paris with St. Patrick, and I am Jim Chapman. Now, I've had a very busy week last week. I started off in New York, and I got back, and I was home for less than a day, about 16 hours. Then I woke up at like 4 in the morning the next day and went straight to France for my stag weekend. Now, all that travelling really took it out of me. I love New York, it's an incredible place, but it got me thinking, we've got a York in England. It's an older York, it's not a New York, but I think there might be some scope in travelling less distance and having an experience of the other York. So, while this song plays, I'm going to do some research and then play a game of New York versus Old York. Let's play the song. That was Nicki Minaj with The Night Is Still Young. Coincidentally, Nicki Minaj comes from Queens in New York. Now, obviously, I just mentioned that I went to New York recently. The producers here are obsessed with York, Old York, normal York. They are convinced that it's much better than New York. And I have to be honest, I'm not having any of it. I've been to New York 6 times now, maybe, and I'm constantly texting Simon, my producer, going, I love New York, it's amazing, we're having the best time in the world. And he's convinced that York is a better place. So we're going to play a game which is New York versus Old York. I'm going to mention something I like about New York. These guys are going to show me a picture of the equivalent thing from York. Let's start, shall we? I'm going to mention something I like about New York. These guys are going to show me a picture of the equivalent thing from York. Let's start, shall we? I'm going to start with the Empire State Building, which is, of course, a very tall building with a magnificent view on top. Massive tourist attraction. Simon is showing me, what is this? This is York Minster, which is, to be fair, a very beautiful cathedral. I like it a lot. I can't see myself climbing to the top and seeing the New York skyline, probably just some hills and sheep and cows and stuff. But nonetheless, it does have history on its side. It's a very old building, so... it's a tough one to call. I think I'm going to still pick the Empire State Building. Next up, we have Grand Central Station versus... What do we have here, Simon?
This is York Station.
This is just York Station. It's not quite the same. It's not comparable. You don't have the incredible ceiling that you have in Grand Central Station, or indeed the Whisper Wall. All you have is a train that looks like it came out of Harry Potter. Not quite the same thing. It looks very industrial and like it smells quite bad. So once again, I think New York wins. Next up, I'm having the Brooklyn Bridge, which is compared to York Bridge, which is also known as Lendl Bridge, and it's about a foot long. It's not a very long bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge connects Brooklyn and New York together. It's a feat of engineering. This guy is small, but then again, I guess York is much older, and this is maybe the early days of bridge making, so we've come a long way. I feel like I'm really slating York. I'm not. I really want to visit. I just think that their bridging isn't as good as New York's bridging. Okay, next up we have Central Park, which is a very special place in my heart because it's where I proposed to my fiancée. And we're comparing that to York's Park and Ride. Apparently, there are 6 Park and Rides in York. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, I don't know if you can get a bus from Central Park. I mean, you get a bus to Central Park, but I don't know if you just go in there, if you can just pick up a bus. They do have horses and carriages, though, so... I mean, you can't even compare these two. I feel like the producers are clutching at straws here. Finally, let's go for the High Line, which in New York is a really magnificent walk that is elevated from the ground, and it has terrific views. We are comparing that with York City Walls, which is essentially just a really old wall that you walk around. Am I correct in saying that? It's just a really old wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's just really old wall. Cool. I mean, I can see York Minster from there, so, I mean, the view's good. If I wanted a really old wall, I'd probably do the Great Wall of China, to be fair. I have to say, I think New York is maybe a slightly better experience for me. I'm more of a city boy, but I do want to visit York one day. Anyway, let's play a song. This song is Purity Ring with Body Ache. Listen, I know York is a city. I know I said I'm a city boy and I prefer New York, and York is in fact a city, so stop hating me on Twitter. All I meant was that I like big metropolitan type cities. I do need to go to York, though. I have to say black and white photos on A4 paper didn't do it for me. But stay tuned, because coming up very, very soon, we have my exclusive video of me attempting to snowboard on my stag do. But before that, let's listen to the 1975 with Settle Down.
BBC Radio 1.
I really like that song. That was 1975 with Settle Down. Let's talk about nakedness, shall we? I know it's a bit of a weird jump from the 1975 to nudity, but as you know, I had my stag weekend last weekend, and it was really, really fun. I do have a naked friend, and I'm just talking to the guys in the studio here, and they all have a naked friend. I don't know if it's just a guy thing. Kenny was just telling me that he has a friend who will order pizza and then answer the door to the pizza guy completely naked and invite him in. Simon, what was your story? You were telling me that you've got a naked friend, two naked friends who ended up getting married?
No, they're both married now, but they still like to get naked.
Oh, right, they're both married now, but they still like to get naked. And on my stag do, I have a naked friend who just decided on the walk home just to take all of his clothes off and walk home. Bearing in mind we were in Chamonix in a ski resort, it's not very warm, we're up a mountain somewhere. Probably wasn't his best moment, I have to say. We ended up going back to the chalet and he just refused to put his clothes on. I probably, if I get married again, I won't invite him to the second stag, so let's put it that way. Anyway, what I want to know is if it is just a male phenomenon, and if you have a naked friend, or in fact, if you are the naked friend, let us know on Twitter. Don't send us any pictures, because no one wants to see that. I'm just really curious as to whether it's just a male phenomenon, and if nakedness is something that happens to all of us. My video coming up very, very soon, all about my stag do, will be coming up after this song, which is Homesick by Catfish and the Bottlemen.
Jim Chapman.
That song was Catfish and the Bottlemen with Homesick. Now prepare yourself, because you're about to listen to me attempt to snowboard on my stag weekend. Enjoy! Hello, people of Radio 1. I am currently up a mountain celebrating with some of my friends my marriage, which is coming up quite soon, and we've decided to go snowboarding. I'm not very good at snowboarding, so let's see how we do. So I'm on the ski lift on the way to my first run, and despite the fact it's my stag do, there's an odd number of us, so I am going on my own. These guys all have partners. Cheers, guys. There are so many zips on my clothes, and I have no idea what they do. I just found a zip on my crotch. What's that for? Oh, ventilation. Lovely. I really do not fancy falling down there, or actually dropping my camera down there, because that would be the end of this video. This is the bit I'm not looking forward to. It's time to get off this lift, which scares me a lot. It's all about timing, I think. Board down, bum up, go, go! Like a pro! Best friends in the world right now, throwing snowballs at me. Oh God! Ow! You hit me! Stop! It's my stag do, you can't do this to me! They're still throwing snowballs at me! No! Ah! Someone hit me on the head! I'm trying to go, and they're throwing snowballs at me. Okay, so I've done kind of like half a run. I spent a lot of time on my bum. Oh, I'm filming and going! I spent a lot of time on my bum, and my arms, and my legs, and less time on the board. But look at me go and get in there! Tanya, I know there's a reason why you're marrying me. I'm a pro snowboarder. No, no. I made it to the bottom of that run like a champ. I think I fell once and I managed to film it. But the rest of the time was smooth sailing. I'm a professional snowboarder now. Whew. I do have the world's biggest wedgie though, that's one complaint I have. Also, I'm very hot and sweaty. So it's day 2 of snowboarding, and as you can see, we can see a lot. Visibility is great. It's going to be an interesting day, I think. I'm on another ski lift now. Check out the boys in front. I have to say the view is incredible, although we have cranked things up to like 11. Yesterday I was doing okay, today is much harder, much steeper and much faster. Final day of snowboarding. We are going up to the hardest mountain we've done so far. It's a red run. These guys are pros. They're taking me out. I'm a bit nervous about this one, guys, if I'm honest. How are you feeling?
Why are you nervous? Why are you nervous?
Because this one's going to be steeper and faster.
No, but you're steep.
Okay.
Because you're very tall.
Okay, thanks, Casper.
You're like almost at a 90-degree angle.
Brilliant.
So don't worry.
There you go, according to Casper's logic, this will be my best one yet. Okay, the nerves have kicked in now. This is the highest we've been. This is the steepest run we've done. The visibility is incredible. I mean, look at that view. But I'm genuinely nervous that I won't be able to do this one. So, I guess I'll see you at the bottom. What if I can't do it and I get halfway down? Like, how do I get the rest of the way down? I don't know. I feel a bit out of my league right now. That was truly terrifying. The top half was just ice, and then you get halfway down, the snow turns really nice. And I was linking some turns and doing well. I'm going to give myself 10 out of 10 for that run. Go Jim. I'm so annoyed this is the last day. I finally got good at snowboarding, and I'm having the best time ever with like just a group of legends. Time for the final run of the entire weekend, and I finally nailed it. Go me. That is all for this clip, so I'll see you back in the studio. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that. I definitely fell over at least once that I recorded, but there were plenty more times. One thing I learned from that experience is that I really like snowboarding, and I'll definitely do it again, but maybe I'll take people who are of a similar level to me. I spent the entire time on my own stag do going, "Way up guys, wait for me," because I was so far behind them. I also realised that my friends don't like me. They didn't wait. Anyway, here is James Bay with Let It Go. Way up guys! Walking home. What are you up to on the 23rd and 24th of May? I'm not sure if you've heard anyone from Radio 1 talking about this, because it's quite hush-hush at the moment, but it's Big Weekend, which is happening in Norwich. Now, I'm from Norwich. It's where I was brought up, where I'm born and raised. Actually, I'm born in a place called Attleborough, which is quite near, but Norwich is where I'm raised. It's a very exciting time to be in Norwich right now. I've got all of my friends going, "I can't believe the Big Weekend is happening in Norwich," and my mum is super excited. I'm actually going to go with my mum. She is a bit of a legend. You may have heard me on Grimmy Show doing Call or Delete, where I pranked my mum and told her that Taylor Swift was going to stay at her house. And my mum was like, "Okay, love, that sounds great." So I'm hoping that maybe we might meet Taylor and my mum can actually just invite her around for a cup of tea or something. The lineup is incredible. We have Muse, Florence and the Machine, Foo Fighters, Taylor Swift, Rudimental, Snoop Dogg is going to be there, Alt J, and that's just to name a few. So if you are lucky enough to have tickets, then get very, very excited. If not, then you can watch online. Right now, I'm going to play you Higher Love by Prides.
Jim Chapman on BBC Radio 1.
That was Prize with Higher Love on BBC Radio 1. Now, you may remember at the very beginning of this show, I was curious as to whether my face actually matches my voice. Turns out that I've done a straw poll on Twitter, and the majority of you seem to think that it does. But I have screen captured a few tweets that seem to tickle me. So the first one comes from @LaurenEmma77, who says, I can't imagine you with a manly low voice, and I'm slightly offended. How dare you, Lauren? That's very, very rude. Next one comes from MopGirl108, who says, no, not really. Your face is really tough and adventurous, and your voice is super soft and calm and sweet. I don't have an adventurous face. I look like a squirrel most of the time, and my voice, I think, kind of matches, and it's quite squirrely, almost shrew-like. Next up, this is a hard one to do. Akunan says, at first I didn't think so, but when I watched your videos more, yes, it's the perfect one for you. Well, thanks very much. Next up we have C Fangirling, who says, it's deep, matching your long body, but not your small head. I love how Twitter's just a place for me to get insulted. Anyway, that is all of them. Let's play a song so I can regain my self-esteem. This is Missing by the XX. The XX do a really good heartbeat, don't they? There's a few songs where they go boom, boom, and it really always gets me in a kind of heartbeaty type mood. I love the XX. Anyway, the next song is Kings of Leon with The Bucket. Now, this song is kind of important to me. It reminds me of being back at university when I first started, and I met a guy who became my best friend at the time. We worked in the shop together, and I thought he was so cool because he wore really skinny jeans and clothes that were maybe a little bit too small for him. So I decided to adopt that phase, and it took me a while to get it right, let's put it that way. I spent a few years at university wearing jeans that were just a little bit too skinny and didn't suit me quite well enough, but nonetheless it's a very influential song to me, and it is amazing. So this is Kings of Leon with The Bucket.
Jim Chapman on BBC Radio 1.
Oh, I love the Kings of Leon. So I've just been writing some notes while that song was playing as to how to finish this show and my last link and everything. And I've realised that my writing is getting much worse. I mean, who writes things anymore? I'm going to attempt to read my scrawl here and sign off neatly, but just don't expect miracles from me, okay? So here's what I've learned from today's show. Men like to get naked quite a lot, and sometimes in inappropriate situations. My voice does match my face, but my head is too small. And it's also not very deep and manly. And also, I really need to visit York. That is it for this show. Coming up next is Hugh Stevens, and next week on the show we have Dan and Phil. Thank you very much for listening to me. Keep using the hashtag, hashtag JimOnR1, and let me know how I did. I've really enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. For now, let's play Lord with Team.
Wait till you're now.